I never thought I'd become the kind of man who would spy on his own wife. But something wasn't right. I kept telling myself it was just my imagination. But every late night at work, every hushed phone call that stopped the second I walked into the room, every time her eyes darted away from mine, it all planted seeds of doubt inside me. Her name was Lily. We'd been together for almost a decade, married for 6 years, with a life full of shared dreams and inside jokes. But suddenly the woman I knew began to slip away piece by piece right before my eyes. First I tried to shake it off. Told myself it was stress or maybe just my own insecurities whispering lies. But that feeling wouldn't leave. It clung to me heavy and suffocating. So against everything I thought I believed in, I crossed a line I never imagined I would. I bought hidden cameras. I installed them discreetly throughout the house. Living room, kitchen, even in the hallway near our bedroom. I told myself it was just to ease my mind, to prove I was wrong and maybe feel like a fool for doubting her. Days passed. Nothing happened. Lily came home, cooked dinner, sat with her glass of wine on the couch, scrolling through her phone or watching her favorite shows. Everything looked perfectly normal, ordinary even. I started to feel sick with guilt. Maybe I really had become the paranoid husband who let his fear get the best of him. But then came Thursday. She told me she had to work late again, her tone light, casual as she kissed me goodbye. I almost believed her almost. That night, I was supposed to meet my friend Marcus for drinks. But something deep inside told me to stay. So I canned and stayed home glued to the live feed. Hours passed, nothing. Then just after 10 o'clock, the front door opened. Lily walked in. She wasn't alone. A man followed her inside. I didn't recognize him. Tall, well-dressed, confident. She wasn't startled. She wasn't nervous. She looked comfortable, at ease, like she'd done this before. Then I saw it. That smile, the same smile I once believed, was reserved just for me. She led him to the couch, sat close, too close. His hand touched her shoulder. She laughed softly, leaned into him, then kissed him. The world around me froze. My heart didn't race. My body didn't tremble. I just sat there, staring in numb silence as everything I believed about my marriage shattered right in front of me. I watched it unfold like a cruel film. I couldn't stop. Every laugh, every touch, every kiss, it was everything that once belonged to me. Now it belonged to a stranger. She didn't look guilty. She looked happy. I must have replayed that footage a dozen times that night, hoping, desperately searching for some alternate explanation. But there wasn't one. No misunderstanding, no context, just cold, brutal truth staring back at me. I didn't confront her that night. I didn't scream or demand answers. I sat there in the darkness, feeling like I was suffocating in my own home. The days that followed were a blur. Lily carried on as if nothing had changed. She laughed. She talked about weekend plans, about places we could visit next summer, about children we might one day have. But every word she spoke sounded hollow to me, like knives hidden inside sweet lullabies. I became a ghost in my own house, smiling when I had to, pretending to listen. While every glance at her face was a reminder of what I'd seen. At night, I'd lie awake, listening to her breathing softly beside me. Wondering how long she'd been lying, wondering if our entire life together had been a lie. And yet, I kept checking the footage, not because I wanted to torture myself, but because some part of me still couldn't believe it. I kept watching that same woman. The woman who once held me during my darkest nights. The woman who danced with me barefoot in the kitchen, betraying me without hesitation. Then it happened. The breaking point. I came home early one evening, much earlier than she expected. As I walked through the door, I heard her soft laughter from the kitchen. Her voice, tender, affectionate, floated through the air, but it wasn't meant for me. I stood there in the doorway, frozen, listening as she whispered into her phone, giggling like a lovesick teenager. In that moment, something inside me finally broke, but not in the way I expected. I didn't feel rage. I didn't feel heartbreak. I just felt done. Later that night, she was humming while making dinner, as if the world outside our walls didn't exist. But for me, Nothing felt real anymore. The mask I'd been wearing, pretending I could survive this, had become too heavy. I walked into the kitchen, calm as a man walking into the rain. She looked up and smiled, that familiar smile that once melted me, but it had no power over me anymore. "We need to talk," I said, my voice steady but cold. She blinked, surprised by my tone. "Is everything okay, I know, Lily?" Her smile faltered. "No." What I didn't answer. I pulled out my phone, opened the video, and pressed play. There it was, her betrayal captured in vivid detail. She stared at the screen, her face draining of color as the truth unraveled before her eyes. Her lips parted, but no words came out. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely a whisper. "It's not what it looks like." I let out a dry, empty laugh. "No, Lily, it's exactly what it looks like." That's when she crumbled. She fell to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably, clutching at my leg, pleading with me to listen. "I'm sorry. Please, please, we can fix this. I still love you," but her words were meaningless. Just noise. I looked at her. This woman I once loved and felt absolutely nothing. "You're not sorry for what you did," I said, my voice like ice. "You're just sorry you got caught," she cried harder, begging, swearing it was a mistake, promising it would never happen again. But the man she once married, he wasn't there anymore. I gently pulled away from her grip, stood up, and spoke the last words I'd ever say to her. "Goodbye, Lily." I walked out, her cries trailing behind me, but I didn't look back. I felt no sadness, no anger. There's peace. The kind of peace that comes when you finally let go of something that's been poisoning you. That night, I packed a small bag. Just the essentials and left. No dramatic scene, no farewell speech, just quiet freedom. She kept trying to reach out after that. Calls, messages, emails, but I ignored every one of them. Not out of spite, simply because there was nothing left to say. In the months that followed, I rebuilt my life in a small apartment. It wasn't easy. Some nights the memories tried to creep back in, but they always faded. What replaced them was something stronger. Clarity. I forgave her. Not to heal the relationship, but to free myself. Because here's the truth. No one tells you. When someone betrays you, they don't just destroy your relationship. They destroy the part of you that believed in them. And once that part of you dies, there's no going back. She didn't lose me the day I caught her cheating. She lost me the day she decided I wasn't enough. I found myself the day I realized I always was. And as I finally closed that chapter for good, I understood something most people never learn. Closure doesn't come from apologies or explanations. Sometimes it comes from walking away and never looking back. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She was only sorry she lost the man who would have loved her forever. But by then, I had already moved on. I was done. And that was enough.